live. And there we go. Welcome, everybody. We're live now. And again, thank you very much for joining our little webinar here, right? We're going to defeat 5 weight loss myths, right? We're going to break them down. Now, listen, I could have gone through 100 of them, but we're going to stick with 5 for now so we don't bombard you with too much information. Just a quick little thing before we start, guys. We're going to do a little Q&A afterward. So if you have any questions, right, just if you don't mind, save them up, right? Because we don't want to keep breaking this up and trying to read the screen and all that kind of stuff. We want to make sure we get all the information we can to you guys and really help you out. Okay, so are we ready to go? All right, let's do this. 5 weight loss myths. Here we go. How do you like my high school project, by the way? Not bad, huh? First one, calories, right? Myth being all calories are equal. That is, we got a little trusty red pen, incorrect. Okay, that is not actually true. So, why is it a myth? It's because it's a little bit tricky. Now, we all know in order to lose weight, we need to have a certain caloric deficit. So, to round numbers up to make it easy, let's say you need 1,500 calories to maintain your weight. If you go down to 1,200 calories, you're going to lose weight, right? So that's, go 2,000, come down to 1,800, you're going to lose weight. That's essentially the really base level of weight loss. But here's the thing, not all calories are created equal. What tends to happen is we'll pick calories that are not healthy, so they're calorically dense, not nutrient dense. And when we do that, what happens is our body takes on the calories without getting the nutrients it needs, and you still get hungry. Okay, so I'll give you a couple examples. Let's say you're going to have a bowl of ice cream, right? And that's all you're going to have. That's your supper. That's your 200 calories. It's going to be a bowl of ice cream. Okay, you might start getting hungry pretty quick. Not because you're lacking in calories, but because your body, its job is to help you survive. Right? So in its attempt to help you survive, right, it's going to force you to be hungry because it's saying, I'm lacking vitamin C, I'm lacking vitamin A, vitamin K, D, you name it. This ice cream is not giving it to me. I'm going to make this human being feel hungry and send him on his way to go crave more food, right? Or even thirst, right? So much as a 3% level of dehydration is enough to cause your body to send hunger pains to your brain, not thirst, right? So it's tricky, but let's go through a couple of examples of how they're not created equal. Okay, we're gonna use oil. Oil is a really good one. So, you know, you'll read recipes and they'll say, you know, healthy oils, healthy fats, and all these kinds of things. So let's get a couple of examples, standard examples. Okay, so here we have the extra light tasting virgin olive oil. Okay, I do the light tasting because I don't like the strong olive taste. Not really a fan of olives. And then we have the standard jumbo size sunflower oil. Okay, so for this guy, 2 tablespoons of oil is 80 calories. Now, for this one, you might say, well, Chris, you know, I don't have any olive oil at home. I got this standard stuff at home. Well, 2 tablespoons of this is 244 calories, right? Which is nuts. That's like 160 calories on 2 tablespoons worth of product. That's insane. That's way too much for you to be messing with, right? Because now you're taking on calories that provide you nothing. This is just oil you're cooking with or you're putting in a salad. So really try to read the labels and make some better options. Here's a couple other options how, not that one is bad versus the other, but how they're different, okay? So we're going to take some peanuts and we're going to take some trail mix here, okay? So if you look at the sizes, roughly the same, these little ramekins, right? Nothing too extreme. Now, in this one here, the ramekin of the trail mix, you're talking 230 calories, 31 grams of carbs. In the peanuts, which is a little bit less, if you look at the size, is here. I'll show you a nice little shot of it. There we go. Okay, so it's a little bit less in there. Is 330 calories. There's tons of calories in peanuts, right? And you're gonna say, well, Chris, I mean, listen, peanuts are good for you. Trail mix could be good for you too. Yes, but it all depends on what your goals are. So there's no carbs in little to know. There's like 3 in the peanuts. There's 20 in the trail mix. So it's all a matter of what you're aiming for. Okay, what is your goal? But what you really want to do is make sure you're satiated, your body is getting nutrients, so you're getting protein, you're getting some carbohydrates, healthy carbohydrates, you're getting a bit of fats, healthy fats, right? You're getting vitamins and minerals from vegetables and fruits. That's where you're going to get all this from, and that's going to make you feel full. So if you have a healthy, balanced diet, you're going to feel full. You're not going to crave those snacks. Those times you're standing in front of the cupboard or opening the fridge, you don't even know what you're there for. You just, I need something. It's because you're lacking in vitamins and your body is forcing you out to forage for them. All right, so be careful of your calories. They are not all equal. Here we go. Number 2, are we ready? Okay. Diet aids. Oh my God. So weight loss pills and supplements really work. That, guys, oh my God, we're going to get a couple extra ones on here. That is terrible. That is definitely no good. Okay. So what these companies do, now you got to put it in perspective for you. The weight loss industry per year produces $186.8 billion per year on garbage like this. And we're not even talking the fitness industry, the exercising and all that stuff. We're talking weight loss. So these people are pumping this garbage on you. Out of the 186 billion, 72 billion is all in here. So what do they promote? They promote things like weight loss tea, right? You've seen those, the trimming teas? Come on, that doesn't work, okay? Pills. Remember back in the day, they had the Dexatrim stuff, right? Tons of pills. They have powders, they have all kinds of things to help you lose weight. So what these things do is they'll do a couple of things depending on the pill, okay? So they can do artificially suppress your diet, right? So your hunger pains. So what they're doing is they're blocking the chemical signal from your stomach to your brain, right? Telling you that you're hungry, which means when you're in deficit of something like water, like nutrients, your body is being deprived of it, right? It can increase your heart rate. It's going to force you to burn more calories as if you're doing cardio just sitting there, right? So that's another thing it does, right? So it's messing with your hormones and your entire body in order to force you to lose weight. And if you're taking any of these, what's going to happen is it's not sustainable because, first of all, it costs a fortune, right? And then once you lose whatever weight, your body is going to struggle to get back into its regular routine. You could cause permanent damage, right? These have been equated to, so if you look at the ingredients of these diet pills, especially the pills, right? It says amphetamine on it, as in methamphetamine, right? So yes, it does the same thing as heroin, as meth. So yes, if you are, that's why you see these drug addicts that are really, really, really gaunt. Same thing. The same chemical procedure is happening, just these are being marketed. Because they're being sold by a company, they're not illegal. Don't make them in your basement, they become illegal, okay? Now, just to add a little something. Supplements, this word right here, okay? Supplements. Supplements, you're going to say, Chris, supplements are good. Yes, they are, right? However, you have to think about what the word supplement means. Supplement means additional. So I'm not getting X, I'm going to add this to provide. Okay, so protein is a perfect example, right? Sometimes you don't get enough protein in our diets, whether we don't like to eat meat, right? So you have to find another way to access protein because your body needs protein. So a supplement is adding protein to your diet, but that protein is not forcing your body into a chemical reaction that is going to artificially trick it into losing weight. That is not at all healthy, guys. This causes a lot of problems It causes dependency. It causes addiction, right? Heart attacks, organ failure. This, guys, stay away from it at all costs. It's terrible for you. Okay, off we go. Ready? And on we go to number 3, diet foods. This, guys, is my favorite. The next two we might be staying here for a while because the other ones are pretty obvious, but this one, oh my God, diet foods are much better for you is incorrect. That is not at all true, okay? So you're gonna argue, some people like to argue and they'll say, well, Chris, there's better options out there. That is true, right? But diet foods are here to be marketed to you, to be sold, right? These companies are here to make sure that you buy the product. They don't care whether or not you are actually fit, whether or not you are healthy, whether or not you're losing weight. In fact, they hope you don't lose weight because the less likely you are to lose weight, the more likely you are to buy more of their product to help you lose weight. It's a big trick, guys. I hate to say it, right? I don't want to be that fear monger, but you need to be aware of what you're fighting against, okay? Diet foods are never going to help you. And I got something, we're going to go through a couple of examples, okay? So let's go through some common ones, some very common ones. So we'll go with the candy, right? It's Halloween time, so we'll go with the candy. So now we have the traditional Reese's peanut butter cups, whole package. And we have one of these fancy Cliff bars. Look at them. Just look at the marketing, right? So that pure sugar and chocolate. There we go. We got someone climbing a mountain. Definitely better for you, obviously, because this guy's climbing a mountain. Clearly, this is the health option, right? So let's take a look at this. So calories in my entire package of Reese's peanut butter cups, 230. Calories in my Cliff bar, 260. Carbs in my peanut butter cups, 26. Carbs in my Cliff bar, 38. Protein, 5. Protein, 11. Ooh, wow. High protein. 6 grams of protein, guys, not going to make a difference, right? So here's the thing. If you prefer the way this tastes than this, perfect, buy it. If you like the way this tastes and you think this is going to help you to lose weight because it's a healthier option, garbage. All right, we're going to toss those over there. Okay, next one. Here we go. You know these, right? This falling into the category of worst shit ever. This one falling in the category of not so bad. Listen, it's pretty good, right? It's Vector. Look, guys, Chris, it even says on it, high protein. That's the good stuff, right? So let's take a look at this for real, what it actually is, okay? And just to say, guys, this is not your fault. Look at the size of the dietary information. So tiny that I rewrote it so I could easily read it, right? So for 1/4 of a cup of our super healthy Vector cereal is 216 calories. And our worst shit ever cereal, 183 for the same amount, 1¼ cup, same amount, less calories than Fruit Loops. All sugar, they both have equal carbs, which is 23 grams. The Vector, Mr. High Protein, has 2 more grams of protein than these child cereal Fruit Loops. In general, guys, cereal is not good for you because it's processed foods, but if you think this is healthy for you, out it goes, right? That's not the case. Now, let's keep going. Let's go. This is fun, right? Look at this. Worst shit ever, right? There we go. And listen, there's still chips. They're much better for you. Pretty good, right? Let's take a look. For 21 chips, 260 calories. For 23 chips, 260 calories. Right? So if your goal is to lose weight, now listen, I'm not slagging these. If you like the way they taste, have at them. That's fine. You make sure you count the nutritional value in the back of the bag like you would anything else. But don't think that because you're eating these, calorically, that they're any better than these. So what's your goal? Right? Now, there's a caveat to this. And this is where it gets very important, okay? So if you look at the ingredients, Doritos got 41 ingredients. A bunch of chemicals you could not even pronounce. Right? Forget it. There's not even a chance of me even being able to pronounce that. It's ridiculous. Why? Because it's got flavoring on it. Anything that's got flavoring is pumped full of all these kind of weird chemicals, because clearly cheese does not come in powder form, technically, like this. So what happens is they pump it full of chemicals. Now, it is true that your body has a harder time breaking that down than it does something like this with 3 ingredients, which has the corn flour, the shaped in the form of chips, right? And then it's got the oil and the salt. So yes, this wins. However, here's the trick. These guys, regular, cheapo, store-bought chips, not pitching itself as healthy at all, it's saying we're regular chips, has 3 ingredients, potatoes, oil, and salt. So these 2 ingredients wise and calorically are the same. So again, I love the way these taste. Perfect. I buy them because I think they're going to lose weight. Wrong. We're not going to throw those because that bag might just explode. Right? That could be a disaster. So let's not go there this time. All right. Are we good? Perfect. Let's move on. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, we're going to have a little Q&A after. We can add in and go into more in depth on this stuff. Here we go. Diet fads. Popular diets really work. No, that is also a myth. And you're going to say, Chris, but seriously, my friend Jenny did it. She lost like 5 pounds. Right? So, yes, maybe. But Jenny, not because of this fad diet. So here's the thing about fad diets, right? They force your body into a deficit that can't be maintained in order to force you to lose weight, right? So we'll use an example, which has been around for a long time. So now it's the keto diet, but it was the Atkins diet way back. Same thing, right? The idea is to cut out all carbohydrates out of your system completely and just focus on proteins and fats. Are you going to lose weight? Well, listen, you've cut out 1/3 of your calorie sources. Whether it's important or not, this diet doesn't care, right? What it cares is that you buy the keto bars and the keto cookies, right? And the keto cereals and the keto friendly stuff that they're selling on the shelves. They don't care whether or not you're actually losing weight or are healthy or your organs are working properly. Is there a low carb option better as far as losing weight? Technically, yes. What you want to do is you want to boost your protein, because protein creates a thermal effect of food. It also helps make that satiation feeling stay a little bit longer, right? Remember, we're talking the calories being equal at the beginning, okay? So we really want to up our protein, but if you have a caloric maximum, by upping your protein, naturally your carbs are going to come down, right? Because you're filling this bar. Once you jack this up, this has got to come down just to level it out. So naturally you can lower your carbs, right? But by forcing yourself, and here's going to get a little bit tricky, right? By forcing yourself, your body is going to react. So there is a term we use in the fitness industry, right? That your body reacts to the stresses it's put under, right? So we talk about that usually with building muscle or cardio, right? So you work hard, your muscle gets bigger to react to the work that you put it through, and then so on and so forth, right? Same as the cardio and whatever. Your body will do the same as far as storing fat. So we'll give you a scenario. You're walking through the desert, right? And you got a 3 days walk through the desert. You're going to have no food, right? But you need to make it to the other end. We'll assume that you have water, because if you have no water for more than 3 days, you're dead, okay? So we're going to assume you got water, but you got no food, okay? Now your body has stored up enough fat to last those 3 days. No problem. So you make it to the town and you start eating. Your body will refill those stores slowly over time to be ready for the 3 days walk back, because it doesn't know the way we live, right? It's very instinctual. Your body's job is to make you survive, right? So Now you say, you know what? I'm going to cut out all carbs, which is your source of energy. Remember that. So you have carbs, which become sugar, which gets stored in muscles as energy, okay? So that's super important. Without that, without the carbs to become sugar, to become energy, your body is going to dip into this fat stores, convert the fat into sugars to be used as energy. Great, you're losing weight. You do that for 3 months, let's say. Okay? Now, because it's not sustainable to live with no carbohydrates, because carbohydrates are in fruits, they're in vegetables, they're in pastas, they're in rices, they're in pretty much everything you're going to eat. So now we start introducing carbs back into our system. Your body will say, aha, I got to get ready for another 3-month no carb starvation, another walk through the desert. So it's going to store back everything that you lost and probably more. So 85%, guys, these are scientific facts here. 85% of people who go on these fad diets regain their weight back within the first year. And most of those gain up to 20% more than they had when they started. So here's what we're going to do. See this word right here, diet? We're going to get rid of that completely. We don't want even to talk about the word diet. It's not even in our vocabulary anymore. What you need to think about is nutrition. You are not going on a diet. You are going on a nutrition plan. You're going to change your macronutrients accordingly. You're going to up your protein. You're going to lower your carbs. Your fats are going to be in check, right? And you're going to do this, and this is going to be a lifestyle change. We're not just going to do this for 3 months. We're going to eat healthy forever. And then, to put in perspective, right? So now you have this long highway of you eating healthy, and then, whoop, you do a little detour, and you come over here and you have McDonald's. That's okay, right? Important to get back on the road. So don't worry about these dips, right? They're going to happen because eating healthy has to be forever, not for a 3-month fad diet to crash down 5 pounds in hopes that it stays away. It won't. Yes, it takes longer. Yes, it takes a lot more work. It's a little bit unsatisfying, but in the long run, it's going to stay off. You're going to be able to eat these foods, and your body's going to know, because you're giving it nutrients all this time, that it does not need to store this junk food. So it will get rid of it and back on the road with the good stuff. All right? Good. Now, one final one, guys, and this is a big one. Sorry, my giant fingers make it hard to flip pages sometimes. Willpower. You know how many times as a personal trainer I hear this, and it's unfortunate, right? I can't lose weight because I have no willpower. Right? Let's say this again, right? I hear this a lot. People say, I can't lose weight because I have no willpower. That is a bold-faced lie that industries want you to believe. Okay? It is not your willpower. That is the problem. The problem is what you're up against. Okay? You're up against companies. Now, all these products that I showed you today. Think about it. $186 billion industry. There are people that are paid way more than me to push these products on you to let you know how good they are and how delicious they are and how much you're going to love them. Right? And don't be fooled. They're not naturally good for you. These don't naturally taste good. They are tested and studied and pushed, right? There's millions and millions of dollars. How many times you guys see guys out in the world, we'll say, okay, that a new bag of chips comes out on the market. Oh, sweet, let's try the new bag of chips. Because you got to try the new bag, obviously. Let's be real, okay? You try the new bag of chips. It's great. Well, this is my new favorite chip. But it's limited time, so I want to buy as much as I can before it's gone. Right? I mean, wow, last day I'm going to stock, I'm going to buy like 12. Right? Now, these companies have those sales numbers, and they say, you know what? This product sold like crazy in Quebec, but not in Ontario. You know what's going to happen? It's going to stay in Quebec, and they're going to pull it from Ontario, and they're going to send Ontario a different flavor, whatever sold better over there. These guys are doing this on purpose. This, for you to think of no willpower, is so wrong. It infuriates me, right? Not to you, not against you, right? It's that enemy, right? They're out there, guys. They really are. They want you to believe you don't have willpower. Why do they want you to believe that you don't have the willpower? Because if you don't have the willpower, you can then go buy the diet products. Because the diet products will help you. It's not, right? So they're going to say, well, listen, you can't avoid the chocolate. You love chocolate. Buy this healthier chocolate. Instead of saying that if you had enough nutrients, you could eat the chocolate and not worry about it. Right? It's not you. It's not your lack of willpower. You have the willpower. I know you have the willpower. Why? Because you struggle with it all the time. You are fighting constantly. You know, this makes me so much. You know what? It's a little bit dramatic, but this is pissing me off, right? Out you go. Right? No more of that. Let's change this, right? Let's say you can. Right? You can do it. Yes, it's going to be hard. It's going to take dedication. And yes, you might have to seek professional help. Someone like me, a dietitian, maybe a trainer you know, whatever it is. Right? And yes, you're going to have to do some work when you go to the stores and read these tiny labels. And guys, we're going to have a whole video on these labels coming up, okay? So yes, it's going to take some dedication and paying attention. So, Chris, what is something quick you can give me that can help me with this, all of this, on a regular basis? Because I work, I get up in the morning, I go to work, I work till 5:30, I'm home at 6:30, I got to feed the kids, I can't make a roast and eat at 10, what do I do? Okay? The idea, guys, is as much as possible, try to buy whole foods. Right? Whole grain bread. Not processed bread, like white, enriched white bread. You know what that is? That is that being stripped of everything that's good for it, and then pumping you with a couple of good things that are good for it to make you feel better. That's what that is. Okay, enriched white bread is garbage. But a whole grain bread, things like rye bread, sourdough bread, super good for you, right? You can have these guilt-free. Try to be as natural as you can with the products. You know, have a chicken breast, not a frozen one. I know it's a little bit more expensive. If you need to buy a frozen one, that's okay too, but read the information and make sure you're not being lied to and not being fooled. All right, guys, because you can do this, and we're going to help you with a series of videos, not just on the food myths. We're focusing a little bit more on the stuff that we intake, but we're going to talk about exercise. We're going to talk about all kinds of things to help you get there. And with that, I think our webinar is over. I got a little bit passionate there, but that's okay. So let me just step up. I saw a couple of people typing on, see if they're just saying hello or if they have any questions. Hello, everybody. That was good. So if you have any questions, guys, you can throw them down. I'll give it like a couple of minutes because I realize I'm a ball of energy right now, right? I feel like flipping the whole table. Oh gosh. Okay, let's see. How do you stay motivated? That's a very good question. So how do you stay motivated? The reality is it's hard, right? It's very hard to stay motivated, and a lot of times you're not going to stay motivated. So here's what you got to do is you got to really plan it. So for a guy like me, I'll tell you right now, these are all very dangerous for me, okay? All this product that I bought, just to show you guys, okay? I'm a chip fiend. I am addicted to chips like you have never seen. All right, I'm an animal for these things. But I general rule, I never buy them. What I do is when it's time, when I'm having that craving, it's making me a little bit crazy, I don't cave and sneak off and buy chips. That's where you get into a problem, is when you start hiding things and sneaking things, right? So I say, you know what? Tonight's chip night. I'm going to go buy a bag of chips. I'm going to eat the whole thing. It's going to be terrible for me. But like that blip I showed you before, we're going to be back on the road. So don't worry about that, right? Where we get into trouble, more so than these, is things like this. Okay, so you see this little thing of peanuts? Now, take about half of that. Okay, there we go. So that little half of peanuts, so that little handful of peanuts, that's 160 calories. Right? How many times, if you have peanuts in your house, you just reach in, grab a couple, you know? It's nothing. That was 80 calories. You don't even think about it. And these guys are roasted and unsalted, so there's no oil in them. There's no salt on them. They're as bland as you're going to get when talking peanuts, okay? But these little unconscious snacking, those add up. Why? Because we don't count those. So if I was to come to your house and say, okay, what'd you have for lunch today? What did you have for breakfast today? What did you eat today? I will have to pull out of you. I'll be saying, do you have any snacks? Oh, yeah, you know what? Took a couple handfuls of peanuts. Because we ignore those. We don't count those. Right? Think about a jar full of pennies. Okay? Do a little analogy. You got a jar full of pennies. When we fill up that jar, we start putting the pennies over in this other jar. Right? Now, when we take pennies out of this jar, we say, look how good I did, right? But we don't see that we have all these other pennies. So you really have to make sure that things are not happening out of sight. You want chips? Go buy them, eat them, love them, put them on your list. You have to, if you're going to do this long term, I mean lifelong, and if you struggle, listen, if you're one of those people that eat healthy all the time, good on you. You're a superhero. You got this. You don't need to watch the rest of this video. But if you're like a lot of us who struggle, the idea is intent. So remember when I said way back at the beginning, what is your intent behind eating these calories? Right? So if you want a low calorie snack that gives some energy because you're going to go for a bike ride, not bad. Needs carbs. So this has carbs. This has no carbs. I won't give you the energy boost these will, but there's also no carbs. So if you want to have a low carb, high protein, this might be good, right? So the reality about motivation, we're going to have a whole other video on motivation and break the myths of motivation. You have to stick to it. It's not motivation. It's planning. That's the reality. All right? And what else we got? That was a good question, by the way. But that's a whole other video. All right, I'll give it till 12:35. We can sit here and chat, right? Extra 3 minutes for someone to chime in. I know sometimes people are shy or they're not sure how to word it. So while we're sitting here talking, let's talk about something extra, okay? So I always promote egg whites, okay? This is like my thing. Because a lot of, for me, I had to stay away from cholesterol, right? Now, eggs have good cholesterol along with the bad cholesterol. In fact, there's more good cholesterol than bad cholesterol. And studies are saying you should go and eat those. And I mean medical studies. I don't mean fat diet garbage, right? So, really, these are great. And you look at the high protein cereal, Mr. 6 Protein, okay, for 2/3 of a cup. That's a lot. No one's going to eat 2/3 of a cup of egg whites, right? It's 90 calories only and 20 grams of protein, right? You can get away with eating a ton of this stuff. And you throw in a couple of veggies, right? Maybe sprinkle some cheese on there for flavor. Make it tasty, It's great. All right, what do we got here? The cereal debate is exactly what I told you before about honeycombs. Right. So it depends on what you're going for, okay? So again, let's talk calories only, okay? So these Fruit Loops have 183 calories for the same amount as the other cereal, which is now currently on the floor, that had 200 calories. But what's your point of eating this cereal? Now, back in the day, they would feed it to the kids. First of all, keep in mind, this label, guys, is going to seem crazy because we've seen it for a while, but it only became law in 2003. So that means our parents and us growing up did not have this information provided to us. So when it said no artificial flavors, oh, that sounds great. Part of a healthy breakfast, that sounds great. They would buy this stuff and they would give it to us. But at the flip side, we spent our days running nonstop. When I was a kid, I would leave the house as soon as I finished breakfast, like on a Saturday, and I wouldn't come back till it was dark. So different society, different world. But our bodies don't change to match the society we live in. So we got to make sure we're choosing better. So a good breakfast can include honeycombs, Fruit Loops, whatever cereal you like. But in moderation, throw in some egg white. So now you got protein, right? So now I got some protein. Now I got some carbs. We're going to throw in a bit of dairy because you got to put milk in here, right? And then we're going to have a little bit of fruit on the side. Now you have a balanced diet. Now your body has all the nutrients it needs. Doesn't have to survive on this, which will be gone in no time, right? So because it's gone in no time, remember the starvation. It's going to be gone in no time. Yes, you might need to dip in the fat stores, but the next time it gets some, it's going to store more fat, right? So that's how that vicious cycle goes. All right, what's this question here? I would love to see a webinar on all or nothing mentality. Okay, well, yes, for sure, we'll do that. So suggestions are good, right? Not now because we're focusing on the food stuff, but yes, for sure we will do that. That's going to be one of our coming up in our future webinars, because it's there's no such thing as all or nothing. It's about balance, right? Get everything in you need, the nutrients you need. We're going to have a macronutrient webinar coming up soon, so stay tuned for that, right? And we'll go through to let you know what your body needs, and I'll help you decide what to have. All right, guys, well, I think that's about it. That's the extra 5 minutes there. And again, thanks for tuning in. It was a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll learn something. And again, if you have any more specific questions, just reach out to me. Not a problem. All right. So like that, we're going to do the awkward log off because now we got to shut off these computers. It's like, you know. But anyway, see you next time, everyone.